Unitarian Universalist Church, building community, inspiring growth, creating change. Here in the heart of Kansas City, we come together to create this hour of shared reflection so that we might be renewed in courage for these times and inspired to lives of greater dignity, higher purpose, deeper generosity, and more effective action. May the words and music and images that we offer today nourish our best selves, calling forth abundant wisdom and love, a love that has the power to overcome both loneliness in the heart and oppression in the world. Welcome to our service.
Arise and shout, oh, arise.
My church, my friends, my beloved community, good morning. Good morning. Yes. Say it plain, child. Where are you? I need new glasses. Wherever yes, say it plain. Let it be known. I'm Joseph Davis. I'm a member here. And whether you are in the room or out there watching online in the land of zeros and ones, we are glad you are here. Your presence enriches all of us and our time together. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation, and as such, our tradition is a large tent with rooms for many beliefs and approaches to the questions that matter. It is our values of inclusion, compassion, and justice that hold us together, even in these times. We seek to build the aforementioned beloved community, making room for everyone and creating a world where everyone's needs are met. You may be new here this morning, so welcome. We know that your first time attending a church, especially a non-toxic one, you may want to keep a low profile and just check things out quietly. That's great. We are glad you're here nonetheless. And if you are a visitor and excited to be here and to let us all know you are here, we invite you to raise your hand at this time. Nobody has raised their hands. Oh, there are some new people here who are welcome. We're glad you're here. And we thank you for enriching all of us with your presence today. And remember, church, whoever you are and whomever you love, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Whether you came here today with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here. And you are invited to join us with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands. Again, we welcome you today.
Before I start, on behalf of the board, I'm going to inform you that our annual meeting will be the afternoon of May 18th. After the service, there will be a Sunday plus lunch that you can grab before rushing in here to do the business of this, our church. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for joining us here or online to recommit yourself to what matters, to recommit yourself to community, to depth, and to being intentional in who you are and how you show up in the world. Today, we recognize the efforts of the women's group, the Demeters, that was a central force at All Souls for 60 years. As their members have aged, they decided that 2024 would be their final year. And through this service, we thank them for all that they have done for this church. Let us connect once again to joy, the experience that rises in the face of oppression and doubt. Joy and hope are connected, showing us how to survive right now. The times are dark and worry can overwhelm, so let us instead embrace the joy of being together.
Our chalice lighting this morning is by the words of the Reverend Dr. Julia Corbett Heemeyer. We light this chalice in celebration of joy, the flickering flame of a candle that shimmers, that dances, that cheers, the flame that heartens and encourages us in hard times, the welcoming flame of this community. And now, church, let us together with one joyful and compassionate voice affirm the words of our covenant. That goodwill is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth and love, and to help one another.
Thou fount of every blessing, tune our hearts to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, fall for songs of loudest praise. While the hope of life's perfection fills our hearts with joy and love, teach us ever to be faithful, may we still thy goodness prove. Come thou fount of every vision, lift our eyes to what may come. See the lion and the young lamb dwell together in thy home. Hear the cries of war fall silent, feel our love glow like the sun. When we all serve one another, then our heaven has begun. Come thou fount of inspiration, turn our lives to higher ways. Lift our gloom and desperation, so the promise of this day. Help us find ourselves in union, help our hands tell of our love. With thine aid, O fount of justice, earth be fair as heaven above.
Minor technical difficulties, just a moment. Our commitment to human fellowship means that we are called upon to be glad with those who rejoice and to weep with those who mourn. Thus, we set aside this time in our gathering to share with one another the joys and sorrows which are now shaping our lives. May the beauty and sweetness of these brief flowers remind us to hold one another in the bonds of sympathy, encouragement, and care. Before I invite you forward to share your joys or sorrows from your personal life, I need to tell you two things. First, we have the joy of the next generations of Unitarian Universalists in the room, which is fantastic, and I love hearing you young people to remind us that you are with us, and that you are part of our community, and that there is a future to our faith. Also, acknowledging that we are live streaming on YouTube. If you have a joy or sorrow to share that you would rather not be kept on the internet for all of eternity, wait until others have shared, and I will indicate for our amazing tech people to stop the live stream so that you can share with only the people who are in this room. And so I invite those who have something on their hearts forward to take a flower, speak, and then put it in the vase.
I had come up here before with a pretty tough thing, but this time it's been about 9 months, or it was about 9 months of unemployment. It's just been hard out there. But last week was my first week at a new job. And thank you. And I'm blending in really well, so that's the best part.
So for a little over a month, my son has been in the hospital, and we finally got him home from pancreatitis, serious episodes where he was on a ventilator for 4 days, and he came home Friday, and everything's good. On a second thought is that one of my favorite groups of this church is being honored today, and I sometimes felt like I was an honorary member of Demeters. Because they were always making a work list for me. But the fact is I enjoyed the last few years where we had the thing in the garage sale or whatever, and I used to enjoy giving the kids their tickets so they could all go use $10 worth of purchase power at the. So it was my honor to be an honorary member of Demeters.
I'm overjoyed to be a charter member of Black Ancestors Awareness Campaign in Weston, Missouri, and I would like to remind you today that on June 14th, it's a Saturday, we're doing our annual Juneteenth event up there, and Alex Westerfelt and Kathy Weil and I are organizing a group, hopefully a huge group, to go up for that event, and we'll be meeting in the parking lot at 10 o'clock. Saturday, June 14th. Thank you.
Not seeing anyone else in line at this moment, I will ask Mika to put up our slide that's special on the live stream so that And someone else just preached my reflection. I place this final flower for all of the outreachings of the Spirit that abide unspoken in our hearts. And please read aloud with me our words of response, written by Pamela Rumanchik. Why community? To remember that one is not a whole number, that we need both roots and wings, that strength comes from relationship and mutuality, that we know life in and through one another. And now let us sing our children to their classes. Go now in peace, may love guide all your ways.
There we go. Longtime member of this church. I do love that we are honoring the past and present members of Demeters this morning. As I was thinking about Demeters, a word came to mind that I seem to be seeing more, foremothers, not forefathers, but foremothers. And in thinking about foremothers, I did what any rational person would do, looking for some words of wisdom about this. I Googled it, and I ran across a site called Foremothers for Dummies, which I just think it's a hoot that there is such a site called Foremothers for Dummies. But anyway, the site says, foremothers is a word that refers to powerful and influential women who are regarded as the origin or founder of a particular family, community, movement, or even a whole society. These exceptional women pave the way for others, just like the first brick in a sturdy and magnificent building. I often think of foremothers as the superheroes of their time, using their strength, wisdom, and resilience to make a significant impact and create a better world for future generations. I was particularly struck by the line from Foremothers for Dummies that create a better world for future generations. These wonderful women of Demeters, our All Souls foremothers, passed along their strength, wisdom, and resilience to us. They also passed along the knowledge that high ideals are great, but we need a building, we need electricity, we need heating and cooling, we need maintenance, we need great staff, and we need enriching programs. While these wonderful members, these superheroes, super sheroes, were raising their families, enjoying community, and eating countless potluck dishes, they also came together to raise money through their dues and fundraising activities such as the Holiday Bazaar, which used to be down in Conover. Through this money, the members of Demeters pledged annually to our budget for 40-some years. They also often stepped in to buy a new rug or a new piece of furniture when our budget just would not extend that far. Today, as we take the offering, in the spirit of our foremothers, please give generously to our budget as we create a better world for future generations.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when the day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pines, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new life, it's a new day, it's a new life, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. And I'm feeling good.
Mercy. Church, let's dedicate the offering. We dedicate our offerings and our actions to the mission at the heart of this congregation, to build a respectful and caring community, to inspire a personal and spiritual growth, and to create change towards a just and compassionate society.
Amari, thank you. I got you back in the 1960s. The history of Demeters. This is from a presentation by Kay Jones in the August of 2015 and has been adapted by Dory Bader and Evelyn Maddox. The images on the screen are all of members of Demeters, although they do not exclusively depict Demeters events. By anybody's standards, 1965 was a momentous year. It was the winter after the Summer of Love. Martin Luther King Jr. led the March on Selma in the spring, and the Voting Rights Act was signed in August. Also in August, Los Angeles erupted in the Bloody Watts race riots. It was the year the U.S. increased the number of troops in Vietnam from 75,000 to 125,000, signaling the beginning of that contentious war. In Washington, the war on poverty spawned Medicare, Medicaid, and Head Start, among other programs. It was the year of the miniskirt. The Beatles played Shea Stadium. All Souls in 1965 was in its 97th year, a thriving congregation with record numbers of people filling the seats, the hallways, and the religious education classrooms. Dr. Raymond Bragg was in his 12th year of an eventual 21 years as minister. The new building at 45th and Walnut was just 5 years old, having opened in 1960. In the congregation were a number of young mothers who had left their careers to become stay-at-home caregivers. Having been used to daily involvement in the affairs of the world, they were longing to include something of what they had left behind into their days of diapers and swing sets. There was a lot going on in the world, and they wanted to be a part of it. At that time, All Souls women had a choice of two women's groups, the Daytime Alliance and the Evening Alliance. Both were successful, each boasting a membership of about 30, but both were primarily social groups. A young mother named Marjorie Ricks suggested the formation of a third group, one designed to involve the mothers of small children in the affairs of the world and the church. She foresaw monthly luncheon meetings with guest speakers and field trips on the topics of the day, and importantly, babysitting. The first meeting was in January of 1965, and Demeters was born. And many ask, why that name? Who or what is a Demeter? Demeter is an apparently little-known Greek goddess. She was described in a 1970s Demeter's annual report as a goddess of earth and harvest, one of the few mythological characters whose motives toward the earth are good. Although Marjorie Ricks moved out of state before the group got started, the idea took hold as a loosely organized group of young mothers. There were no officers, no minutes or annual reports, until Dr. Bragg told them that in order to be a church-affiliated organization, they would have to be more organized. One of the requisites was that the president had to be a member of the church, which didn't seem like a problem because the women were all active in the church, especially the Sunday school. But as it turned out, only one, Faye Miller, was in fact an official member of All Souls. She became the first duly elected president of Demeters. Vice presidents were Betty Hudson and Bertie McLaughlin. Martha Swegel was secretary-treasurer, Jean Gruening was the membership chair, and Ellie Dawson was the project chair. According to its first annual report, the group flourished in 1965 to 1966, with attendance varying from 13 to 30 women. According to that report, a lot of thought went into the decision to provide free babysitting. The rationale that prevailed held. A church needs to utilize the talents of its homemakers, and homemakers need to develop an awareness of church needs, church services, and encourage a social awareness of the city in which they live. No extra burden financially should be placed on these women. So there were no dues. A 50-cent reservation fee for lunch was charged, and monthly bake sales after Sunday church services paid the babysitters. Programs during the first year covered prisons, living conditions in the inner city, and Planned Parenthood. There were tours of the inner city, the Midtown Nursery at Woodland School, Children's Mercy Hospital, the Nelson Art Gallery, and the Hallmark Plant. Some of these led to service projects, a Christmas party for children at the Wayne Minor Housing Project, and gifts of toys and crafts for Children's Mercy Hospital. 2 large projects in the next few years became benchmarks for the young organization. 4 days a week, Demeters furnished 1 volunteer in the morning and 1 in the afternoon for the Humboldt Center's Head Start program to provide the required matching local contribution for the city's very first Head Start classes. Often, the young mothers traded babysitting during these volunteer hours to make the work possible. After a speaker from Planned Parenthood, a similar project was launched with Demeters staffing the front desk at Planned Parenthood 4 days a week. They still made some time for a few church projects, helping out in the office and administering a questionnaire to church members. And there were family picnic meetings in the summer. By the beginning of the 1970s, the group had begun to focus most of its attention on meeting the needs of the church. Bake sales, spring festivals grew into casino nights, rummage sales, the holiday boutique, and catering meals for the church as well as outside groups. The first of these was for Phi Alpha Delta, the local law fraternity, which had lost its usual annual meeting venue. A fraternity member was the husband of Demeter Betty Hudson, and so it evolved that Demeters stepped in to provide the dinner for a donation, thus beginning a long and profitable relationship with the fraternity. Demeters developed a similar relationship with the Crown Center Optimist Club, co-sponsoring a number of fundraisers, notable among which was the beginning of a dinner auction. The Optimists provide the auction items, and Demeters made and served the dinner. Profits were split between the 2 organizations. In 1973-1974, the busy calendar of fundraisers included speech contest for Optimist Club, Las Vegas night, sold UNICEF cards at Plaza Post Office, Oktoberfest for church members, catered dinner for the law fraternity, auction dinner, and boutique. Through these many dinners and events, Demeters raised thousands of dollars to be used for church needs. Everything from basic kitchen equipment to the carpeting, benches, and glass tables in the lobby. Demeters, with support from individual church members, bought the fiber art piece Chrysalis in 1979. They also bought the curtain for Conover Stage and rugs, window treatments, and furniture for a number of rooms, including the minister's office, thank you, the library, and classrooms in religious education. As one longtime All Souls member told a new Demeter, "If you see it, you probably bought it." In 1981, Demeters not only furnished the nursery, but also paid the nursery attendants' wages the first year. And then the purchase by All Souls of Simpson House in 1986 created many more opportunities for Demeters' fundraising skills. One of the most extensive projects was construction of a ramp to make the building accessible. In 1991, Demeters pledged $2,500 toward ramp construction, challenging others to match the gift. The effort succeeded, and the ramp was built. Sometimes Demeters' responsibility was limited to facilitating a gift to the church. When Louise Baggett's family donated the Steinway piano, Demeters paid for moving it, as well as for repair and tuning. And all this was done while Demeters paid an annual pledge to the church operating fund. For instance, in 96-97, Demeters pledged $700 to the operating fund and $2,100 to the capital campaign. Service to the church was not limited to raising money and furnishing the building. Demeters also donated dinners and created beautiful stoles for ordinations and installations at All Souls through the years. And Demeters maintained a relationship with the Ward Chapel AME Soup Kitchen, with donations of needed appliances and food and volunteers to serve meals. Demeters was affiliated with the Unitarian Universalists Women's Federation from the early 70s for at least 45 years, when the UUWF ceased accepting group memberships. The UUWF is an organization based in Boston that is dedicated to honoring, connecting, and empowering women who transform society. Through this affiliation, the Demeters honored a number of All Souls women with membership in the Clara Barton Sisterhood, an honorary life membership for women 80 or older, whose life and work are exemplary. The first of those was awarded in 1995 to Asa George, who, among many other honors, was the recipient of the 1992 Raymond B. Bragg Humanist of the Year Award and the 1974 Social Worker of the Year Award from the Missouri-Kansas chapter of the National Association of Social Workers. A scholarship fund was established at Kansas University in her name. Other women whom Demeters has honored with this award are Blanche Carstensen, Ellen Roos, Elizabeth Thomas, Louise Baggett, Joe Maxwell, Jean McCormick, Hetty Reeds, Hilda Gibbs, Jean Dunlap, Jean Olson, Betty Hudson, Karen Wynn, Wilma Major, Claudine Thomas, and Ginger Powers. As time went on, the culture changed, and so did Demeters. Fewer women were stay-at-home moms, so evening meetings became more convenient for most people. By the mid-1990s, monthly meetings were changed to Tuesday evenings to accommodate the change. In 1994, a request for Demeters to provide a reception after a memorial service was the beginning of what was to become a defining service for the modern group. A large crowd was expected in 1994 for the service for All Souls member Bonnie McGaffey, who had been the executive director of the Johnson County Mental Health Association and was very well known in the community. The Reverend John Weston, the All Souls minister and husband of a Demeter, asked the group to provide refreshments after the service. Speaking for the group, Joan Olson agreed. Shortly afterward, a friend of Mrs. McGaffey, who had attended that service, found herself unexpectedly planning a memorial service when her husband died. Again, it was to be a very large service, and although she was not a member of All Souls, the friend asked that the service be at the church. Demeters was again asked to serve refreshments. She offered a donation to Demeters for the service. And Demeters went on to regularly provide hospitality for memorial services at All Souls. Donations were accepted, but never required. In recent years, as membership declined, Demeters continued to serve an occasional Sunday Plus lunch and the annual holiday boutique. It flourished as a major fundraiser until its final event in 2023. Other events like the auction were turned over to the church, which now budgets for the kinds of improvements previously paid for by Demeters. The Demeters Christmas holiday lunch at Kingswood in its last 3 years were special gatherings for members, invited guests, and staff. Over a span of 60 years, several generations of women with differing interests and differing strengths would come and go in Demeters. And although the focus of Demeters changed many times through the years, it was always an enthusiastic group of busy women who were involved collectively and individually in many church projects. Through the generations, you would find a Demeter on most of the committees vital to the health of the church. And the monthly potlucks offered an important networking opportunity for getting the business of the church done. While the organization is best known in the church for its service, including its annual donation to the church, Demeters themselves will remember good friends, good food, good conversations, and much laughter. Would all of the Demeters present here today please stand, and those online, identify yourself in the comments. Please stand. Thank you for your years of service.
Today's reading is Kinetic Joy by Rosemary Watola Tromer. It's perhaps like billiards, in which the cue ball collides with another ball, and the kinetic energy passes on to a second ball. That's how it is when you, in your joy, collide with me in a hug. My every molecule vibrating as your bliss becomes my bliss, your joy becomes my joy, until I'm dizzy with it, spinning with it, rolling around the room with it. In fact, it's what I was made for, to be moved by you, by your joy.
The room was loud, full of excitement and the joy of connecting with other Unitarian Universalists in Missouri. We were in Jefferson City for the first ever UU Advocacy Day on Wednesday. 5 of us from All Souls and about 45 people in total from 8 Missouri congregations. Our time together was a combination of concern around what is happening nationally and what the supermajority in the Missouri legislature is forcing on Missourians, but also delight in meeting one another. None of us was alone in our commitment to the UU values or in our concerns. Many of those present felt hopeless as they were going to meet their representatives who do not share our values. And yet, together, we could feel a power. We were not single voices in the wilderness, but we were a small group with the promise of becoming a large group. A larger advocacy force of Unitarian Universalists in Missouri. There is joy in coming together, that kinetic energy bouncing one to another, building from person to person, getting ever louder and more exuberant. It is a joy that shouts, I am not alone. which each of us needs so deeply in our souls. And I can imagine that joy among the Demeters as they created their group in 1965. That similar joy throughout 6 decades of never being alone and of working for the betterment of all souls and the wider community. A place to share in the challenges of ever-shifting womanhood and to do something meaningful together. The connections and the work that embodied Demeters for so long remind me of the famous quote attributed to Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. A small group within all souls. A small group of Unitarian Universalists in Missouri. A small group that connects with other groups to build a coalition. Yes, we can change the world. As Reverend Peter Lucky preached here a few months ago, joy fights back despair and embodies resistance. When we dedicate ourselves to joy in the face of evil, we do not give in to the fear that might immobilize us. When we use our joy to connect with those around us, we become a greater power to embody all that we value. Find your joy in the midst of the storm and bounce its kinetic energy among everyone around you. Join groups and form new groups, and in your shared joy, revel in the power of the truth. You are not alone. Please rise in body, spirit, or whatever else will rise within you as we sing together, Lean on Me.
shrine the good heart, its creedal truth, its ritual words of love.